Story number 1. On New Year's Day of 2014, I was at a friend's party. He owned a massive plot of land about a mile from his house. There were me and about 1,000 other people. I was close with him but didn't know anyone else there besides him and his two sisters. The reason there were so many people was because his friend told some of his buddies that they could bring their friends, and their friends brought more people, and so on, to the point where the crowd was massive. I like parties, but quickly discovered most of the people there weren't my kind of people, if you know what I mean. I met one cool dude and we hit it off. We drank and talked and laughed. Nothing abnormal went down at this party. We had a countdown and everyone cheered as the clock hit 12. It went on for about 3 more hours, but eventually most of the people left, leaving about 300 people, which is still a lot, but definitely less than before. Eventually people started trickling out and less people were there. The guy I met had to go and said goodbye. I was tired and bored, so I tracked down my friend. I found him chilling by himself. He told me that he was bored. I replied the same and told him that I was just going to go home. He didn't hesitate and I grabbed everything. I was about 30 feet from my car when I see two guys I'd never seen before come in front of me and stopped. I stopped and asked if they needed something. Then they just stared blankly at me. Then they looked behind me. I turned to see 3 more guys coming in. They boxed me in. The final man got there and stopped. He told me to hand over every valuable thing I had. Nobody else was around. I wish there were so that they could defend me. The men said that they would beat me up if I resisted. One glance and I knew that they weren't bluffing. They outnumbered me and they were also definitely stronger. There's no way I could take them all in at once, let alone one at a time. I did what they said without hesitation. I took off my keys and wallet, and I gave them the valuables in my car. Thank God I left my phone at home because they would have taken it as well. They left me and took off saying that if I called the cops that they would kill me. Once they left, I hopped in my car. I cried for at least 30 minutes, then drove home. I went to bed miserable that night, and the pain of that night still lingers 2 years later. It's fine, I've moved past it. I've recovered financially and changed my credit card password and other important things, making my wallet more or less useless to them. However, I'm just happy I escaped alive. No possession is more valuable to me than my life. Story number 2. One New Year's night, I was with my parents and we were celebrating. We were going out to a big dinner. I was making my way up there. I live about 30 minutes away, and I took the highway because it was faster. I'd been on the road for a little over 20 minutes and was almost there, but suddenly I got the urge to use a restroom. I saw a public rest area up ahead and pulled over. I got out and went inside the building to do my thing. I got back into the car and started it up and got back onto the highway. I was interrupted by a car behind me beeping aggressively seconds later. I sighed and switched lanes. I got scared when he did the same. I switched and he drove faster to the right next to me, and I was going faster until he rolled down his window to say something. I rolled down mine, but it wasn't much good because the wind in our engines was drowning out the sound. I stopped and so did he. I was afraid. What did he want? Then he told me I'd forgotten my friend. I asked what did he mean. He dropped the bomb and said, "The guy in the back passenger seat with you." I was driving alone as far as I could tell. I was clueless someone was in there. This had to have been a joke, but I was so scared. I asked him to repeat, and he did. Then I replied that no one else should have been in the car. I had a sinking feeling. I thanked him and walked back to my car. I hoped the person was gone. No one was in the seats or on the car floor. I prayed that the same was true with the trunk. I tested it and it was. You don't know how it took me all that courage to open the trunk. We didn't call the cops. I thanked him endlessly and he replied with normal stuff. I wished him a happy New Year's and he did the same and drove off. He was creeped out as well. I got to my parents' house and told them about it. They comforted me, but they also seemed worried. Nothing ever happened like this again, but obviously that guy in my car was never heard of. What terrifies me was another person was in my car and could have potentially robbed me, and the fact that I was completely oblivious to it still frightens me. Story number 3. Hey everyone, I'm currently posting this Reddit post on New Year's of 2018, but this story happened in New Year's of 2018. My brother and 2 sisters and I were off shooting off fireworks. Their girlfriends and boyfriends were there, and I had a girlfriend then, who I still see. My parents were both out of town, so we were in the backyard shooting off fireworks and just overall having a great time. My brother lights off a firework, and I hear it shoot up in the air and explode. Everyone screams with joy, like the others, but during the explosion, I hear a thump from the garage. At first, I think something fell over, but as my sister's trying to shoot off a firework, I hear it once again, louder as the firework goes off. I tell my brother, but he brushes it off. About half an hour later, we are out of fireworks and we go inside. My sisters and their boyfriends leave. Then my brother and his girlfriend leave. But my other brother and his girlfriend live far away and they said that they were too tired to go. I offered to let them sleep there for the night and they thanked me and agreed. Then they slept downstairs and I got ready for bed. I'm not tired and neither is my girlfriend, so we put on a movie. I forget what movie it was. I wake up about an hour later. I know because I checked the clock. My girlfriend was asleep. The movie is still playing in the background. I guess I fell asleep with it as background noise. It's glaring and so loud, so I turn it off. That's probably what woke me. I roll back down and begin drifting off again when I hear more fireworks. I listen and smile, but right after I hear one, I hear a solid thump. I can tell it's from the garage. Now I get worried. I tie it up to the thumps from earlier. There must have been an animal in there or something. I hear it again, and it drowns out the sound of a thunderous firework explosion. That was it. I get out of bed and leave the room. I walk over to the door and hesitate with my hand on the knob. Finally, I opened it, and the thumping stops. I reach for the light, but when I feel a hand grab me, I scream so loud, and then I yank my hand free. I flicked on the light, and I can see a man I've never seen before. My brother and his girlfriend wake up. The man runs past me and out the front door, never to be seen again. I was panicking. I was so freaked out and shook. I called 911, and police arrived about 10 minutes later. They took my report seriously, and my brother found out what happened, and he said that he was still in a half-awake state when it went down, and so was his girlfriend. My girlfriend didn't see, so I was the only witness. Police left after they did all that they could. They advised that we lock our windows and doors. I didn't hesitate. I had a knife on me at all times and my phone ready to call 911 if that guy ever bothered to come back. I locked all entry points to the house. And made sure to use the bolt lock on doors that I could. I wasn't playing around. I shut the blinds on all the windows. A year has officially passed since this, and this has been nothing but haunting memory. Like I said, I never saw that guy again, and he was never found. He never came back. I still hang with my family on New Year's, but this definitely ruined my reputation on the holiday. We did a thorough check, and some of my brother's baseball cards were stolen. We had about $50 in cash that was taken. It wasn't super bad. Various other things were stolen, but it could have been worse. Honestly, we were lucky that that guy was caught before we could steal more, and I think we got better off than we would have. I still don't know how he got in undetected because the only entry point is the garage door, and I still don't know why he targeted me on New Year's, or if that was just a coincidence or not. And why me out of anyone? I don't know. I guess this all will still remain a mystery. Story number 4. Happy 2022, everyone. I hope your year is great and gets off to a better start than mine did. On New Year's, I decided to take my girlfriend on a trip to Las Vegas, as she's always wanted to see it. I booked us a week trip. We get there and we have a great night and start a fun first day. I won't bore you with all the details. On the second day, we get on the subway to go to a local casino. I notice a guy a few seats down stare me down. I scoot over a seat to be right next to my girlfriend. It gave me comfort for some reason. We get off the train and we walk past the man. He gets up without looking and walks right behind us. He then passes us and we walk off. We forget about him. We have a good time, but eventually I want to get on my phone to take a picture of something and realize that I didn't have it. I asked my girlfriend and she told me that she didn't have it. I knew it wasn't at our hotel. I swear I had, and she said that she knew I was the last to have it. I didn't immediately assume it was that guy in the subway, but I still panicked. We turned the whole place upside down. I asked one of the workers to check the lost and found for it, but it was nowhere to be found at the casino. I had a miserable time, and me and my girlfriend left about an hour later. I was mad. This ruined our trip. The worst part was I had no passcode or Face ID. Whoever stole my phone had access to my bank account and more. I yelled and screamed. I got into an argument with my girlfriend. I'll spare you the details again, but it involved the phone. Afterwards, I sulked more, but I remembered that I had found my iPhone installed on my laptop. I yanked it open fast and booted it up. I opened the app and it showed the destination. I was so happy. I told my girlfriend and we made up. Then she helped me look for it. I started to drive to the place where it indicated it was, but then it moved. Then a few seconds later it moved again and again. Was I on a car, bus or something? Then I remembered the subway. I must have left it there. Then it stopped moving and started walking on a sidewalk. I could tell that the map indicated that it was no longer on the subway. I could tell because there's no way that it could be moving that drastically fast in different areas and twisting and turning like that. Eventually it hovered over this house and it stopped. I drove over to it. It was about 10 miles away, and we walked over to the house without announcing. I was angry that someone took my phone, and then I opened the door. Maybe they thought that it was theirs and took it. I thought about the guy on the train that I was scared of. Now I was more angry at him than I was scared. My girlfriend used her phone flashlight to shine around the pitch black rooms. We searched the bottom, nothing. Then the top, still nothing. We were about to leave when I heard a creak in one of the bedrooms. Hello? I called in a demanding tone. No response. I walk over and open the door. I flick the lights on and I see a guy with his back turned. He slowly turns. It's the guy from the subway. He's got my phone. Then he retrieves a gun from his pocket and aims it at me. I put my hands up, and he walks to me slowly and demands that I back up. I obey, considering that he could end my life in a single split second. My girlfriend turns and sees us. She drops her phone and puts her hands in the air when the man orders her to. He told us that he doesn't want to hurt us and that he only wanted my phone. He said that he would personally track us down and kill us if we told the police. With his gun aimed at us, he walks towards the front door and is gone. After my girlfriend gets up, we hug and then we cry, knowing that we almost died. Thank God he didn't pull the trigger. He could have gotten my keys from me, which would have made this already bad situation so much worse. But in the heat of the moment, I was so happy to be alive. I didn't care about the phone anymore. Thank God he only took my phone and spared us. We got back to the hotel, canceled the trip, and got a refund for the days we didn't spend there. We got home today. I changed my credit card password and bank account password to hopefully scale down the damage that the info that he has caused. Like I said, I'm mad, but I'm still recovering. It still scares me. We didn't bother to tell anyone or to get the police involved. Now this is just another bad memory. What a great way to start off the year. Stay safe out there, folks, and have a happy new year.